everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am in my car again and I just wanted to record this episode because it came to me to record it, and this is this week's episode. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Krystal and I am your Leo bestie. I am your bestie during this self-healing journey. My YouTube channel is very intended for self-healers, those that know that you can get through healing without having to go to therapy. Always seek help if you need it. I'm just going to add that in here. But if you are on a self-healing journey, then know that my channel is intended for you. So welcome back. I left you guys last week about that I wanted to start talking about the brain, and I started this little series of getting yourself out of fight or flight. And so for this week, I wanted to dive into more of, okay, so now I have the emotions wheel. I know how to feel my emotions. I know how to get out, but how do you actually retrain yourself to get out of that fight or flight? Because the truth is that you might feel an emotion, you might feel that anger, you might feel that sadness, you might feel these strong emotions that come out. Okay, but what now? If you need someone to walk you through this, just know that I am available. Send me a message and we can work something out. Just want to add that in there in case you want to start this. And I know it's a self-healing, but we all need that friend there, and just want to put out there that I am that friend for you. So let me get started. When we get triggered, I have mentioned before that our body gets stimulated. There's something that happens in our body and it sends a signal to our brain. Therefore, our brain gets a signal that there's danger. And when our brain gets that signal that there's danger, that's when, imagine a protection goes over your brain and your body. And so that's what a trigger is. You get triggered, and that's where your anxiety starts. That's where your overthinking starts. That's where fear comes in. And what better way of explaining this to you than to give you guys my own example. For me, I mentioned it before in my previous video. I associated fear with getting attacked or with getting hurt because of what had happened to me. And that's just one example. So what is the story that you tell yourself because of that trigger? And I say it in my bio because it's 100% true. Emotions start in childhood. So what is the story that your little self told herself or himself? What was a result of that emotion? Story was, and I'm gonna try to remember it the best if I can because it has been a while, but so pretty much the dog needed to eat, and so did he was hungry, and the mom decided to feed the dog first. And because of that, he said him as a child unconsciously, he started relating eating with him not being important and the dog being more important than him. And so those are the stories that I mean. So as well, I mentioned last week, when it comes to anger or when it comes to sadness or when it comes to even love, it could mean that you have some type of story in your brain that your child self told you so that you can stay away from that emotion. And again, so for me, with that fear, anytime I would get that fear feeling, my brain told myself and my little inner child self had that in her mind that she was going to get hurt. Every time she felt fear, anytime she got triggered, she felt she was going to get hurt. So for example, I had to train myself that, okay, every time I get triggered and I feel fear, I am safe. I have to tell myself and I have to check my surroundings and be okay, I am safe. And then same thing with anger. Again, I told you guys, in my household, I couldn't feel anger. I couldn't talk back because it was seen as disrespectful. And I feel Hispanic families or maybe immigrant families can relate to that a lot, because it's seen as disrespectful. And if that is something that you're no, that is disrespectful, then that's your values. That is where it comes to what I've said previously too, is checking your values of what is it that you value. Because once you start seeing okay, yeah, I would appreciate if I was angry, to be able to express myself to someone. Or if someone is angry at me, I would love them to express themselves to me and not feel like I'm gonna be disrespected. Because in my mind, in my little child's mind, to her, anytime she spoke up, it was seen as disrespectful. And so I carried in my brain, in my story, in my life, I carried, oh, I can't speak up because it's seen as disrespectful. And so just little stories like that, like what is it what is it that trigger caused? What ripple effect did that cause to your inner child self? Even when it comes to like loving. So one example that I have is I was talking to a friend, and she said when she was younger, there was a teacher that she was really, really close to. And she started calling the teacher mom. She started saying mom. And the teacher was like, no, like I'm not your mom. Like you need to stop calling me mom. And so her subconsciously, she started caring that she can't express love and she can't show others love because they're going to shut her down because of that one time she tried expressing love. And it all goes into our unconscious. Like this is stuff that we do without even knowing. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because this is when you really start that brain surgery. Like think about it. You have to decode your brain to the story that it knows. Because when you get out of that story that your brain knows, that's when you step into the unknown of like, okay, now I can write a new story. Now I can create a new beginning and not think that anytime I have fear, I'm gonna get attacked. Or I know that I can cry without feeling like I'm gonna be interrogated or like I'm gonna be like questioned of my whole existence. And the more that you start training yourself of these little emotions, like any type of emotion, like anytime you feel depressed, it's like, okay, so where am I stuck at? Where am I stuck? And what story am I telling myself when I feel this emotion, when I feel this depression? When I feel this depression, what is it? For me, whenever I'm starting to feel depressed, it's because I'm not feeling confident. There's something in me that I'm not feeling confident. I'm not loving myself properly. So what is the story I'm telling myself? I'm probably telling myself that I'm not worth it, or, it's the story goes on. And the more that you start decoding these little messages that you give yourself, the more that you're able to rewire your brain into thinking something else. This is when affirmations come through. Start affirming every single day, like I can do this, I can do this. So as a reminder, like I'm doing everything I'm telling you guys was stuff that I did like 2 years ago. When I was in this phase, my boyfriend actually bought me this shirt and it said, I can do this. And anytime that I would feel like sad, or I would feel like I was starting to like get back into that depression state, I would wear that shirt that said, I can do this, because I knew, and I just needed that extra support, like that extra oomph to be like, no, yes, I can do this. Like I can do this. I know I can do this. And I think to like wrap it up, and I don't want to make this video super long, but to wrap up, what I'm trying to say is, what is the story that you are telling yourself, regardless of what situation it is? If you have a situation with your boss at work, what is the story you're telling yourself? Because there's one thing I'm gonna say with this, and it's, don't take things personally. When people tell you things, it's due to them and how they feel. It has nothing to do with you. Our mind and our ego have made it to where everything is about us and it's against us. But when you start seeing that whatever story you told yourself is your little inner child self, like that's sabotaging you, like it's your little inner child coming out to sabotage you, that's when you stop listening to that voice. Because your little inner child self just wants that attention. So heal your inner child, guys. Heal your inner child. That is who is sabotaging you. The more you pay attention to her or him, the better that it will get, because your little inner child is in you, just screaming, throwing a tantrum, wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard. So take care of that part of yourself, because the only person that's gonna save you is you. Self-healers, I'm talking to you again. I hope this video made sense. If you guys have any questions regarding this topic, please reach out to me. I am open to receive any message regarding inner child healing. I love you guys. Remember, every single day is a new opportunity to grow. I just pray to God that my message goes across as I meant it to. And I love you guys. Sorry it was fast, or if it was too short, but I think I said what I needed to say. And I love you guys. Come back next week. Enjoy your day. Bye.